free, and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline. Very,
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Taryn Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the best absolute entrepreneur you can be. 2 mornings in a row, I've screwed it up. Dang it. Well, we're getting better, and that's what we're all about here is personal development. And today I thought would be a fun day to go over one of the basics and things I was reading out of this book. Oh man, it's in my other room. I can't remember the author. I'll put in the show notes today. The book's called Trust Yourself. It's pretty good so far. I like it quite a bit. And they had one of these lines, it approaches to life. They didn't have this in a list, but I thought it made sense kind of with what we're talking about today. So I wanted to give a shout out to that book, Trust Yourself. But also, let's go ahead and get to a list of 3 tips, tricks, ideas to help you. Good morning, everyone, for coming in. Tips, tricks, ideas to help live a happier life. Okay, so the main premise and where we should probably, to give some context and see where we stay before we start writing on the board, is in your own position, think of where you are at and what you're thinking, what you're feeling in the current moment. This list is supposed to help address our attention, help raise our awareness to when we're not feeling our best, and see the things that we can do to combat that and change that and have it in a more positive light and direction, not only for ourselves, but for the people we love and care about most. That's our motto here. Good morning, everyone. This morning we're talking about being happier. Tips, and I like to put the word approach. First tip and approach to living a happier, healthier life would be being present. Being present. And again, some of these might sound pretty basic, but they're good reminders. I know myself. Let's go ahead and make sure Instagram, you can kind of see us over here. Good morning. The approach. Let's go ahead and check my notes real quick to make sure. Okay. Sorry, I had to just pull up my notes real quick to make sure I'm on track. We are, number 1, being present, making sure that we are engaged in the present moment. This one is so easy to get away from us, whether we're looking at things on our smartphone, whether we're just out and we're thinking about our goals in the future, we're at work, we have a million things going on. Maybe you're moving across the country. Maybe you just got in a relationship. Everything, all of the big changes of life tend to pull us out of being present. When we are not in the present moment, I'm willing to argue that chances are we are suffering to some degree. We're not focused on really what is going on right here, right now. And it's hard to be closer with the senses. I always that's how I've been able to gain a lot more awareness on it, is senses. So senses being, I'll just put 5 senses, sight, being able to see what are the things that you're seeing around you. What are the things that you can smell? Is it amazing food? Or maybe just the ability to hear something, taste, touch, the ability to, these senses help re-engage us. And when we're not focusing on these, where chances are we're focused on something that is a little more dangerous to us, that's not going to make us happier. So being present, I want to throw this one on here because this one is by far the hardest. Being able to do this consecutively, consistently on the day-to-day matters, being able to be present. Yesterday, we were talking about some tips from Oprah and being fully engaged with people and being very present with the conversation and the communication that we're trying to give more value to others to help them as well. So being present can be an outlet to a lot of the pain that we currently suffer. It's incredible how much pain we take on just through our imagination, but being present has alleviated. I can only speak from personal experience, but I know for myself, I have alleviated a lot of pain just by being in the present moment and realizing it is insanity that I'm even alive. Now, I know it's a lot of times it's not like, oh, Tanner, I get it. Parts of the world are starving. I get it. It's good to live in America, not Ukraine. And a lot of that stuff's hard to apply. You understand this logically, but that doesn't affect our feelings. But what does affect our feelings is our quality of attention, and being present is very, very helpful. Number 2, learning. We're talking about being interested earlier this week, talking about being interested in what we are trying to learn. Right now, I'm trying to learn a lot about personal development. That's my speed. That's my jam. That's what I'm loving on right now. And it feels great. And I feel very inclined to continue to do things like this to learn about personal development so it can be content pushed back to other people for their benefit, also help grow our business. That makes sense. So when I am learning, when I try this approach and I am learning something, I'm usually a lot happier. I feel really good. And this could be anything, whether picking up a gardening book, trying to play the piano a little bit, or even just really learning, still staying on the meat and potatoes of personal development. I'd ask you, what is your jam? What is your flavor? What are you trying to learn in order to feel good? I want you to think back a little bit on when you were feeling good, when you were feeling fresh. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thinking back when you were feeling fresh, when you were learning something, what did that do for you? How did you feel? Were you excited? Was that good? So learning and understanding, when we are being present, it makes it a whole hell of a lot easier to learn. So if we're interested in something and we're being present, imagine how the quality of our learning, how much more we can learn. Think about when you're learning, you're playing with something and you really enjoy it versus it's a drag. You don't want to be there. Maybe you can think of an old class that you used to take in school that you absolutely hated. And it was very, very tough to learn in that environment. So trying to be more present, getting our senses involved, and also learning. And the last one, number 3, is evolving. If you are not growing, you are dying. What, as an organization, as a person, as a community, wherever you want to put this. I took this from the great Tony Robbins. He talks all the time about how we need to be pushing into a direction that we really want. What do you want out of your life? What is the gap between where you are today and where you want to be? Addressing that, and then focusing on the things that you can do today by being present, willing to learn so you can evolve. You can see how this approach to life can work together to help you be a better version of you, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. I know when I am present for my friends and family, my clients, my coworkers, my ability to learn skyrockets. And as I learn, then I'm evolving. And when you are evolving, think about the things that you've pushed you. Maybe it's advancement in your career. Maybe it's advancement in your skill development. Maybe it's just advancement in the money that you've been making. As you evolve and grow as a person, it feels good. Feels good. So what can you do? What can you do to evolve? What can you do to be more present? Is it listening to how I'm speaking right now? Maybe you're on your way to work, or maybe you're thinking of ways that you can communicate and be more present for the people that you love most today. What is your challenge? What are you going to learn today? How are you going to evolve? Because we know that these things feel good and we want to do more of them. A couple things I want to bring up to be cautious of. These are a few things that pop up for, let me go ahead and put a hard line here. These are things to be careful of when we are learning, when we are evolving, is number one, comparing yourself to others. Compare to others. Number one, compare to others. Be very careful of this. I do this all the time still, so chances are you're probably still going to do it. But raising awareness to it, just like our happiness, we're not going to be happy 24/7. That's not realistic, and it's just not going to happen unless you're a Buddhist monk, right? You have those type of practices. We understand we're not going to be happy 24/7. We understand that it's going to creep in, the thoughts are going to creep into our heads. Johnny over here already has a Lamborghini. Johnny's coaching business is already doing $2 million a month. My business is not doing that much money in a month. Am I a loser? No, but you got to be very careful because your brain's going to naturally do this anyway. You're going to compare to other people. This is one of the incredible things about human beings and why we can replicate things so fast. We can continue to innovate at such an incredible pace is because we can compare. But the catch to that can be a whole lot of pain. It cannot feel very good when we compare too much. So compare, modeling off of others and only comparing to yourself. And then when you do that, when you compare only to yourself, we only compare to ourselves because no one else is us. Our competitive advantage is ourselves. It's our skill sets, it's our strengths, it's who we are, who we compare to ourselves. But when we do this, we got to be very careful of not being too hard on ourselves. Hard on ourselves. Got me writing real low today. Got a lot of notes. Make sure that you guys can all see the full length. Thanks for tuning in this morning. So you're comparing the things to be careful for. This is happy. This is sad. Being careful of this. We want this. We want to be present. We want to learn more. We want to evolve. We want to do the things that feel good. We want to raise awareness and be very careful of because this stuff makes us feel sad. Comparing yourself to others. Only model other people. Learn from them. Evolve from them. But don't compare yourself to others. They have this. I don't have that. So I feel sad. And also be careful of being too hard on yourself. We all want to be ambitious. We all want to grow and change. As we've talked about in past episodes, that is a consistent theme for most of us is what we really want. But being too hard on ourselves can get us hard stuck. It can make it really tough to be in the present moment. And when we're not in the present moment, it's a lot harder to learn. When we're not learning, it's a lot harder to evolve. One of the things my mentor told me as we wrap up today's episode was it's really hard to be learning when you're talking. And I think that's very interesting. And I'm sure there's unique situations where I have to talk through these episodes quite a bit, and then I watch them afterwards to see how I can make them better. But as I'm watching, the real learning isn't being done when I'm talking. So maybe that's our cue today. Maybe our challenge is to listen a little bit more, get our senses involved as we're being more present so we can learn, so we can evolve, because evolving feels fantastic, and we want to be careful of comparing ourselves to others as we're learning and we're growing, and also don't be too hard on ourselves. That's all I have for today. Also, can I get a birthday shout out? Can I get a like for Cleo? Hey, Cleo. It is our Cleo's birthday. Say hi, Cleo. Woo! Don't compare yourself to others. Be present, Cleo. Learn, evolve, compare to yourself, not others. Don't be too hard on yourself. Say happy birthday to Cleo, everyone. Okay. That's all I had for today. You guys all have an amazing, fun-filled, fantastic Wednesday. I hope you guys continue to learn, evolve, grow. Try these tips out for yourself. Share them if you like them. And lastly, of course, I have to give a shout out to our 6-week challenge. If you're looking to become more productive, if you're looking to be happier, I can guarantee this in just 6 weeks if you're willing to follow some key principles day to day, and also if you're willing to meet and kind of grow and go through this process that, man, it's a tough process. I'll definitely say that. But that's why I can guarantee happiness and productivity, or your money back guaranteed if we don't make you happier and productive. We create the one-page life plan here. We got to understand our values, our purpose. We got to understand our goals. And there's got to be some pieces and some structure to help guide us to make sure that we're staying on top of it, right? Check it out. Send me a direct message if you want more info on the 6-week challenge to become a happier and more productive self. Otherwise, enjoy the free content. I'll be back here again live, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show. This is episode 218, 3 approaches to live a happier life. Thanks, friends. I'm out of here. Guys, have an incredible day. Cheers, cheers. Have a great one. And happy birthday, Cleo. You're the best.